Thanks for joining us. We have some breaking news to get into right after the intro video plays. But first, go down and hit that subscribe button. This is why you subscribe to Vikings Now by Chat Sports, because right after the Jalen Reagor trade broke, I got in here, I started working, producer Petey started working, and we got this video out for you guys. So go down there, hit that sub button, and show some support for our newest Minnesota Viking, Jalen Reagor. So we have some breaking news and a lot to uncover about this Jalen Reagor trade because it's not as simple as it seems. This is a crazy trade following the release of Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, which we will get into later. But it was Adam Schefter that broke this news, and he said the Eagles are sending wide receiver Jalen Reagor to the Minnesota Vikings in exchange for a 2023 7th-round pick and a 2024 conditional 4th-round pick that would de-escalate to a 5th-round pick if certain statistical marks are not met, which I'm sure the Vikings and Jalen Reagor agreed, or the Eagles agreed, on maybe a stat that maybe it was 400 yards, 300 yards, whatever it may be, where Reagor has to perform with the Vikings unless it will turn into a 5th-round pick. And I was enthused about this trade, but then Pelissero just tweeted out 40 minutes after that a kind of icing on the cake in a negative way. He says after trading for Jalen Reagor, the Vikings are waiving wide receiver Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, and this just shocked me. I mean, this really shocked me. We recorded this video before this Pelissero news broke, and I was over here saying this trade is fantastic. And if you look at the trade just at this value right now, 2023 7th-round pick, 2024 conditional 4th. That's fine. I was excited about this trade for Jalen Reagor, but then you add on top that you'll be cutting Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, a guy who has worked his tail off to solidify himself in this wide receiver 4 position group. And it just really shocks me because I do think Smith-Marsette, he was set in to be the wide receiver 4 for this offense. And Kevin O'Connell, he loves running 4, 5 wide receivers on the field at once. And I think the big 3 are locked in no matter what with Jefferson, Theo, and KJ. That won't change throughout the entire year. But now you're saying we're going to have a battle between Jalen Nailor and Jalen Reagor for the 4th wide receiver spot. And I think the Vikings brought in Jalen Reagor, yes, to be a wide receiver, that is his position, but also to return punts. Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, he was the punt returner during the Vikings preseason. So I get he muffed that one punt, but he also had some good returns. And I think Jalen Reagor, he'll be the starting punt returner. But if you look at what he's done his past 2 years, it's nothing crazy special. Obviously, he was playing with not the best passing quarterbacks in the NFL, but in 2020, in only 11 games played, having 31 receptions, 400 yards, a touchdown at around 13 yards per catch. And then last year, which really he struggled with the drops, playing in all 17 games, 33 catches, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 9 yards per catch. So yes, if you look at this trade, it's fine. I like it when you're just looking at what you see on your screen right now. But if you add on top of the fact that we're trading waiving Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, it's very concerning. So I want you guys to get down in the comments and let me know what you think about this trade. Who do you think won this trade? If you're looking at it right now, just what you see, obviously I think the Vikings won. But did the Vikings somehow lose this trade by waiving Ihrmir Smith-Marsette? Get down in the comments, type PHI for the Eagles and type MIN for the Minnesota Vikings. And now let's talk about the contract with Jalen Reagor, because he will have a 5th-year option coming up in next May that the Vikings will have to decide whether they're going to keep him or decline his 5th-year option. He only is set to hit $1.8 million this year and then only $2.4 million next year. So the Vikings will have that decision to make next May if they want to decline Reagor's 5th-year option. But if you're looking at his career stats, and like I mentioned, the drops have always been an issue. 56 catches, 600 yards, and 3 touchdowns, but that catch percentage rate at 56.6. 56.6. He's only catching 56% of the balls thrown his way. That's very concerning to me. And honestly, before this trade broke, like I was saying, I was enthused about it. I was like, you know what? We're only giving up a 5th or a 4th round pick with a 7th for a 1st round talent like Jalen Reagor. It really shocked me. But when you're waiving Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, that's the part that hurts. That's the part that I can't really wrap my mind around. And that's really what I am kind of debating in my head, is the question I'll ask you right now. Is it worth trading for Jalen Reagor if you're losing Smith-Marsette? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to be really curious. I'm going to be hopping in the comments with you guys, seeing what the Vikings fans are saying, kind of gaining the pulse of the Vikings fan base with this one. Because right now, if you had to put me on the spot with this question, I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to really have to say no, that I don't think it would be worth it. Because I have the potential that Ihrmir Smith-Marsette has with that 4.4 speed, and he's shown flashes of it last year in his rookie year. I don't know. And if you're thinking about injury, yes, he had that calf strain back in early June. You know, there could be more to that calf injury that we don't know about. But then again, he played in all 3 preseason games. So Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, it's not like he had this looming injury and the Vikings needed to waive him and bring in another guy. He could have been in there and been a very solid wide receiver 4 for this group. Looking at Jalen Reagor's stats from last season, like we mentioned before, 33 catches, 300 yards, 9.1 average, and 2 touchdowns. But I do think the coolest part of this Jalen Reagor trade, and I think it's kind of something that Vikings fans will be able to look back on as something that was kind of funny and a very funny moment for Vikings Twitter and just Vikings fans, was that draft night reaction by Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman. If you guys remember, during that draft, the Vikings had the 22nd pick in that NFL draft, and the Eagles had the 21st pick. And it was a conversation between Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman debating who they should draft, and they both agreed on Jefferson. But they were scared of the Eagles with that 21st selection taking a receiver like Justin Jefferson. And once the Eagles eventually took Jalen Reagor, you saw Mike Zimmer and our good old friend Rick Spielman cheer and applause because they got Justin Jefferson. So it is pretty crazy that we are going to get both of them on our Vikings roster right now. Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson, kind of both, I mean, obviously both first-round wide receivers. But if I do want to put a positive spin on this, and which I obviously will because I'm a very positive and optimistic Vikings fan, and I do think Jalen Reagor, if you're looking at this wide receiver depth chart as just a whole, I think obviously you won't be getting the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 attention like Jefferson and Thielen. But if you need him to go win a route against a CB4 or a CB5 on another team's roster, he could do that. And I really am excited to see what he will do in the purple and gold in week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. And I want you guys to get down there. Type the FGBs because Jalen Reagor, he's going to be scoring a touchdown week 1, I hope. This is one of those moves I'm really hoping. I'm really trusting in Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah on this one. He obviously knows more than all of us. He knows more about this team than anybody else. So I'm going to trust him. I'm going to understand that he knows more about Ihrmir Smith-Marsette, whether it's an injury or just him as a player. So get down there, type FGB in the comments if you are subscribed. I would love to get down there and chop it up with you guys and kind of get the reaction from Vikings fans in the comments. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.